The Truth Girls.
Hi everyone. I'm going to tell you about the biggest psyop that I think is going on right now. Is that the media, and I mean the mainstream, but also the alternative media, are making you believe that everything is a conspiracy. Like, they're doing it on purpose. A few years ago, there was a guy who came on YouTube and on the internet, and he was saying that these crisis actors were being used, and that people were really doubles of someone else. Like, you know, so-and-so was really also so-and-so, this other so-and-so. And that this was like one big, huge Hollywood production. So people were playing like dual roles. Like, he could be a senator in one place, but at the same time, he's also like a homeless man on the news or whatever. Actually, at the very beginning, I thought he had a point, because sometimes it looked like, whoa, yeah, it looks like the same guy. But then after a while, I was like, wait a minute, these aren't the same people. And then he started saying I was Sarah Palin and Tina Fey. I don't know what I can do to convince you that I'm not Tina Fey. I did show you once that I'm actually really short. My legs are short, and like my elbow doesn't go up very high. See, my elbow's only here. My arms are really short. Like, my neck is like super long. My arms are short. So I'm a freak. I'm not Sarah Palin. Believe me, I'm not Miss Alaska. But this kind of tipped me off, and I was like, well, wait a minute, you know. I went and looked at the stuff, and I realized, like, actually a lot of these people are not the same person at all. And what I'm trying to say is, like, I think that it's like a big psyop has been done, partly through that, and also partly I think that the news will like put stuff in. Like, there'll be an incident, and they'll throw in some footage of a drill that's happened somewhere else, so people will be like, they notice that something's off, and they conclude that the whole thing never happened and it was a big charade. But I think the news puts that in to get you going. I think that they'll do little things here and there to make people suspicious, because the end result of this is that at this point everyone thinks that nothing that they see on the news, like no tragic events, like they ever happen, it's all actors, it's all fake. I don't think that that's true at all. Not to say there aren't oddities and that the media is entirely honest, but this whole idea that like nothing ever happened, I don't believe that. I think that you're being manipulated. And what purpose does this serve? Well, it totally discredits what used to be called the truth movement, which was really an activist movement. That originally we were talking about things like 9/11, GMOs, vaccines, corruption in the government, stuff like that. And we were basically activists. And over time it has deteriorated into this like sort of cesspool of paranoia and conjecture. People just take one look at the film and they interpret things without really having any proof. And there could be somebody out there who's like really paranoid, who hears something and interprets it one way, puts up a video, and people just sort of jump on the bandwagon and listen to them, without there being any real proof to support what that person is saying. So that I think is what the psyop is that we've gone from being a movement that was asking questions about things like 9/11 and why that was not properly investigated, and why America and Canada were lured into a war by what seemed to be a false flag, which is totally plausible. I mean, Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor, Reichstag. It's not like it hasn't happened before. This was a very good question. Building 7, explosives. We were talking about stuff like that. Vaccines, human cells, and how it affects the immune system. GMOs, what is this doing to our crops, our environment, our food supply, our bodies? And now it's deteriorated that like anytime something happens on the news, it's like, oh, it didn't really happen, they're all actors. So it's just making people look crazy. And so the benefit to the PTBs of this whole thing is that nobody will listen to the other stuff that's serious. They're gonna be like, oh, axe all in with those conspiracy kooks. This is a psyop, man. This is what happened in the 60s with the hippie movement. They put people in there, they put like misinformation, also like drugs was involved in that case. But they subverted the movement. And as far as I can tell, the truth movement has been subverted. And a lot of people just can't see that. They're just too caught up in the psyop tactics that have been employed against them. Eventually, what's going to happen? You're going to be like, it's all just a big show. Like, none of it really matters, so I might as well just forget about it. And you're not an activist anymore. You went from activism through paranoia to apathy. and, exasperation, and eventually you're just like, you know what? I'm burnt out. Screw it. And that's what they want. To just kill the whole movement, because we had something really good going. And we're really making a change. I mean, look how many people are aware of vaccines and GMOs and all that stuff now. And we were really making a change. And we were really coming together. And that's what they don't want. They want us to all be against each other, and they don't want us to have any power. And so this is a psyop that will implode the movement from the inside. That's what I think. That's what I can see. Can you see it? Let me know what you think. Thanks for liking this video, if you can see it. And thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.
The Truth Girl.